Greetings, thanks for joining us on this broadcast. It is the 21st, 2021. Whatever. That didn't go so well. Anyway, who cares? All right. 2021. We now have senior citizen as president to the extreme of senior citizen. So obviously a lot of people are disappointed in the way things have turned out for obvious reasons. So only thing I can, I've been blocked for the majority of this, getting the, just the way it is. But from what now I can see a little bit more clearly, sort of. Well, the idea is for us, no matter who's in that position, doesn't really, obviously never really matter to begin with. But the idea, I believe that we're coming to a time where we can take more of our power back. We're in a time of just, have more, just, this might not work with everybody, but because someone to give their power to, Trump, for example, and that's great and everything, but, he ended a lot of the war energies. And obviously, nobody wants the establishment, so we got an establishment guy back in there again. But I believe a lot of the Trump energies is still there. And the idea is to, we'll see how it goes, but is to, basically end the establishment altogether. Just basically for us not to have to go to war with anybody anymore, for us to not have to rebuild nations. The world is a lot calmer now. Always, the United States is, at least. And that's the point. So it came up in the webinar yesterday, and it's just a new energy altogether. Just ideas for us to get our power back, not to put our energy into anybody but ourselves. Be positive, not be furious, because people are afraid like China's going to come and wipe us out or something like that, which is understood. Yeah, or we're going to go attack somebody because we have nothing better to do, which is typical establishment. So, but the idea is to put positive, put your own positive energy, how you want to see the future, and it doesn't matter who's in office. In a lot of ways, it's probably better that there's an old guy there, even if there is a younger vice president, still an older guy. So it's like, give it to the old guy to just prance around, hopefully not do anything, not anything destructive, let's put it that way. So, the idea is just to go forward in a positive way, no matter what happens, for yourself. It's about an individual. It's not about giving your power to any of these, politicians. So, and another thing about that whole Insurrection Act thing, I mean, now I can see it more clearly. That would have been just a nightmare. Nothing. The whole country would have. It would have been really bad. So, where the military got involved, those were plans by some generals, I believe, somewhere. I believe a lot of them just want to end the war. They just want to end all this corruption. Basically, the modern government's hiding the deep state, basically. So. Hopefully the deep state starts showing itself. Not yet. But that's kind of the idea. So going forward, where the future goes, March is like the month of where the year kind of kicks in. And there's going to be holes in the administration, but some people feel like Trump's going to come back and do his thing. It's like, who knows? I don't know if he needs to. It's just keep going forward. People are calm for the most part, not everybody, for obvious reasons. But the idea is for calm, for more peace, and just, it's time to end the heart attack in the mind, not be afraid of where things are going. The mind can play so many tricks on you. So, idea is to just go forward and, you can take all this conspiracy stuff and you can just get yourself all wound up on it. Just like with this whole Insurrection Act that Trump was supposedly going to do, the military is going to come and save us or some kind of, it's a nightmare. So you got an old guy there, and just the media finally calmed down and just quiet. That might not be a bad thing. Yeah, just not let your mind get crazy. The mind, yeah, can easily play tricks on people for sure. So you just look at your own energy, look at your own positive energy going forward. No matter what happens, you're still on a positive timeline. It's a way of looking at it. And you can say, give your power to Trump or anybody. It's probably not the best idea. So probably not. It's not healthy when you think about it. I think we're in the age of more taking our power back. That's what this is all about, is taking our power back, not relying on a dictator or a president or anything, and just going more into where we're intended to go. So, yeah, we had our past presidents have been just horrible. What Obama and Bush have been just monsters, basically. Of course, Trump comes in to change things a little bit, and you just don't want that don't want that creature to come back, which is understood. But just think positively, go positively. Just no matter what happens, we'll make it through. So many people can play tricks on their, just drive themselves insane. It's understood, but you're not gonna get anywhere with that either. So, and some of it's for entertainment to drive themselves insane. So it's not fun though. You really get down to it. So where things are going, March is gonna be a whole, just things are gonna start showing their true colors. Doesn't mean that the government's gonna. Who knows? It's not making itself clear, and who cares? Just concentrate on ourselves, and we're bring our aliens here, or wait another 20 years for them to show up. Shit, they're doing a great job not showing up. Maybe more monoliths will show up. Who knows? But yeah, we're going to a new age for sure. So yeah, we're going more into space. That we could probably start talking about more. Space. This is like, I don't know if this is a year for space, but it should be. But I'm not really. No, we're going to go into NASA's. I didn't even channel NASA's vibration. I was going to go into the church cathedral energies. That's fun. Try not to get possessed by that. And then deep state cover up. I guess I'll go into that too. That should be different. So, all right, that's the ticket for tonight's episode. We'll see how we give all that. All right, SimonTower.com. We have private sessions. We have the shop here. I'm on the 10th. I'm getting nowhere with that. Same situation here. We should be catching up today or during the week. I have a webinar this Saturday. We have a social network thing we'll get kicked off of, Rabbit and behind the scenes. Thank you for your support. Okay. It's good to heal the mental heart attack and go forward. The mind can play tricks on you very easily. Just, remember the individual. I believe that we're coming to a time of more individual power. And just healing this nonsense of everything. As the aliens will show up when the world gets calm, which is good. We're in calm. They're not be where some people want, but we are in a calmer state. Unless you're in Iraq right now, or Madrid, or Yemen. There's probably other places, but most of Africa, Florida. So, yeah, or California. Talk about Florida. California is getting beat up more than Florida is. So, okay, all right. Going to NASA, and we'll see where else we go. Maybe I might, if I have any energy, I can to Arcturians, give a different point of view of. If I don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. Of different points of view of like the political energy here. So, all right, blessings. All right. much love. Greetings to you. Yes, an asset consciousness. Yes, there is an Archon energy about us of keeping your veil around your earth to keep you from knowing about yourselves fully, which does not mean it's going to last forever. We are, yes, you can say the modern pharaohs, waste of technology. Yes, those that had elongated heads in your past, they had that for various reasons. One of them was to connect to technology, to build it quicker, to connect even in a third dimension environment, or connect to fourth and fifth dimensional energies very easily. You can say at one time the elongated head was supposed to be the modern human. You already had fingers, ears, but you just had a longer. That was on the drawing board, but they decided to move on without it. This also has an Arcturian energy around elongated head beings. Of course, there's various different beings connected to that. NASA is another form of disclosure, but also to keep disclosure from occurring, as some of you are aware. It is also connected to the NSA and other federal agencies. Obviously, it's not going to make itself. It's basically your black projects in public. Nothing new, of course. So, yes, it is part of satellite surveillance. That's been done for a very long time. But it's not, you can look at it in different ways. But if you want to be paranoid about it, please do. It is actually to watch the elites and spy on the elites, not necessarily you. Yeah, you have this whole NASA, spaceships and everything just to watch the elitists that control the world. You'd be surprised what would go into that. And of course, at one time, always the nuclear side of your military wanted to destroy each other. And that was to destroy different elitist groups, actually. At least that was the plan. That did not come to fruition. So, yes, you can say NASA is part of an Archon design of manipulation of your Earth's energy, also timelines. NASA is also very good at manipulating timelines and time travel. A lot of time travelers do connect to underground facilities connected to NASA. Obviously, your public NASA astronaut is not going to be aware of these things, or some of them would be. So, yeah, NASA's connected. I mean, if you want time travel facilities, NASA would be a good place to look. Obviously, on the outside, it looks normal, but it depends on how you want to look at things. Much of it is done underground, but it's just there had to be some progress here publicly. You were going into notice how your space race currently, or in the past, was, nobody goes back to the moon for obvious reasons. The rumors are true on that. When you say humans are told not to go there publicly anymore, obviously they still are allowed to go there, but just not to talk about it too much. NASA is also very connected to underground bases, and of course it's connected to the Air Force and your military, but NASA is still very much involved in the electronics of it, the engineering of how things go. So, and I guess he does go into human trafficking, and to keep that quiet also. NASA has a lot of things connected to it for obvious reasons. So, even fashion, well, like your CERN, NASA has its way of seeing the future. CERN has an ability also, depending on how you want to look at it. Well, it depends on your energy connecting to NASA's vibration, meaning I can connect to you yourself individually, can connect to NASA and see what you receive from it, because everybody should receive something different. It is overall a controlling mechanism, obviously, to put an end to disclosure, always to bypass it, to delay it, but not forever. Well, delay until the time is right. There's no doors open just yet. Of course, if there's any UFO sightings, NASA is normally quiet on all those things. You notice your military is bringing it up, and NASA just says nothing. Shouldn't be NASA one talking about it more than your military. So when you have a Pentagon disclosure, shouldn't NASA be involved with that? Of course not. But it is very, NASA is very connected to your military, of course. But they're still tight-lipped because of, as you know, some people that know a lot say nothing publicly. And that's just as people in general. So, just give you some insight to our energies. Yes, the rumors are true. That's all we can say. I'm not here to go too deeply, but you can say, yes, your modern cathedrals. You can say NASA is kind of your modern cathedral, you can say. It is where, it's just like your past, your cathedrals were similar to, yes, advanced technologies. Of course, now you have your spaceships. So you take all the knowledge and put it into your spaceships. Of course, you're not shown everything, but overall, they're pretty advanced compared to what you have in your modern age. You still drive around old cars. Your technology is slowly evolving into electric, slowly on purpose. This could have been done in the 1950s. Hell, it could have been done in the 1940s, technically, for electric cars. Obvious reasons it was turned off. So, if it was mechanical and still primitive, you could still have your electric car, and of course, your entire energy grid can be much different today. Yeah, energy grids can be highly advanced currently. They're kept old-fashioned to keep humanity in old-fashioned, keep you in this modern reality. Technology has to do with keeping humans under control, as you know. So you have old technology keeping you in the third dimension. If you have like this electric car that looks futuristic, people evolve with it. They become more advanced. Some might not see it that way, but it's true. Now you have your mobile phones are kind of control mechanisms currently because they're keeping you kind of in the third dimension, but people are researching more. It all depends on how you use it. Some people are evolving on a higher plane. I mean, many are in different ways. Of course, many are becoming more automated, and you have no idea that you're doing that. There's one way of getting a person to act robotic, and they have no idea they're doing it. And this is your average person. Now, there's some people that are just plain ordinary robotic from day one. But to take someone that's very social and make them robotic is an accomplishment. Now, who is accomplishing that is another story. Well, that's you. All right. Blessings. Greetings to you. We are your cathedral consciousness, your church consciousness. The church makes you who you are today. Not all of you, but it forms the soul, doesn't it? It brings the fear of God into some souls that are used to being free in other environments. To take a soul that just incarnated here, that's pretty much had a pretty decent incarnation cycle, and then to control it it turns that soul into a battery, as what you've seen in your Matrix movies. It's true, because you're now draining that person's vibration by programming it with fear. Now, if you can think freely and not be afraid of anything, which is very difficult for many, obviously, because sometimes many of you are actually here to experience that, just fear energy, to know what it's like. That's why some people was like, why did I fall for all this? Why was I in that horrible relationship? A lot of those horrible relationships were meant to be in a personal life situation or in a religious life. It's you're downloading information. I mean, you're not going to get fear like this anywhere else. So what is a cathedral energy? Yeah, it's basically to pull the life force out of you. Not all religions are like this, but quite a few of them are. We're not going to go into details of those. But the cathedral is there to reprogram a human in many different ways. Everyone's unique, of course. It's not here to bring abundance. I mean, it's a program monetary thinking also. It's even your elites get programmed by the cathedrals themselves, which is quite advanced when you get down to it. There are a cathedral, yes, is a portal, as you know. It actually can take you to other planets and realities. It's technically a stargate, depending on the cathedral. Now, any church can be known as a stargate if you're tuned in. Now, if you go to a church and it's like, oh, this is not healthy at all, it's probably because it's not. If you feel like I better not walk in, because even walking into just the doorways of a church or any religious creation, if you're not feeling comfortable, because you're like walking into a stargate, and anything can go, your free will can be revoked. As some feel like they have no free will here, well, but some, once again, maybe you actually sign up for it, especially as a child. Well, the other way is to understand the humans. Like, if you want to understand your parents, it's like you're an alien being incarnated here. You need to understand your parents. So just take you to church. They'll set you right. You might have depression and all these other problems now that you wouldn't have had before that. Now, we're talking about temples, churches. We're talking about religion in general. Now, some religions are very helpful for many things. They're like your worst thing that ever happened to you and the best thing that happened. It all depends on the person, the experience. It can teach you a great thing, and also can take a lot of things away. It's just it's a mind control it's individually created for every individual. I mean, it works differently for everyone. Let's put it that way. So, where did this come from? Now, where does this come from? Different planets. Beings are doing this for ages. Yes, you build a church, you don't control a planet. Now, they call it differently on other worlds, but as soon as a church is built on a free world, most likely that world's gone, meaning that it's going to have some kind of manipulation through it. Now, there's other ways of looking about that, where there's temples to go for healing, but that the vibration is done much differently. But when you have like a story added to it, and you have certain symbols around it, where it's a mind controlling symbol, obviously everyone has their own perspective of these things. Some of you can go into a cathedral and feel like you had the best experience ever, and you shoot all that manipulation back, and that's excellent. Not everybody can do that. So, if you're on a peaceful world and a church appears, that gives you that you have definitely a visitor there trying to control the masses, especially when they have a messiah type walking around to get you to be under that control of that temple they just created. So in some ways it's terrifying, but also a great learning experience all at the same time. Yeah, let's say churches are not all horrible. If you can get through all the manipulations and go through all the cocaine addictions that many go through, or whatever it might be, that your vices that you're programmed that normally you probably wouldn't have had. You can learn a lot about where it came from, the church itself, the cathedral, if it doesn't burn itself down before you can find out. Because you start to learn its secrets, yeah, it might not be too pleasant about that. I mean, if you want to connect to poltergeists, you go to your cathedrals to find it. Obviously, they'd rather have it at your home, but you can bring them to your home too, by bringing symbols and those type of ideas there. So you're going into a whole nother healing currently. We feel of understanding these places on a spiritual level. On a spiritual level, there's no conditions. You're not conditioning yourself, not telling yourself anything. You're going above the manipulation. Obviously, there's manipulation on all levels. Aliens go through a lot of problems themselves. You imagine if you had an alien ship, and then all of a sudden there was a church on your ship, and all of a sudden the members of your church or your ship are now members of the church and going against you. Do you think we're just making these things up? It does happen. Yeah, it's an Archon energy. There's more to it than that, but it is another Archon invention. Well, it's how to turn the mind backwards, how to turn the mind against everyone. Well, your friends are now your enemies. Anybody that's here to help you, obviously they activate you to turn against them. Now, religion isn't fully of that, but it has a lot of it there. The Knights Templars had a lot to do with the church and its creation process, of course. So that's all we have. We're just here to give you a brief understanding of our existence. Of course, there's much more to it than that. Greetings to you. We are the deep state, the consciousness of secrets. Yes, we are alien. Much of your deep state is alien, gray, protected. It is not entirely reptilian. It has some reptilian, but it's mostly a Zeta presence to keep your controllers hidden or mentally programmed. Some of your MJ12, your elites, some of them want to be gods, but gods that are unlisted, unknown, have everything, but they still lack a lot internally. Well, they're always searching for something. I mean, they might have all the riches and possibilities, aliens, but they can't always have the talent. I mean, you might be able to buy anything, but the talent still doesn't exist. So a lot of these elites that some of you are feeling, a lot of them are hollow inside. Yes, all they can do is control others as they learn from other beings, such as Archon, even Anunnakis. I mean, some rulers of your planet, they control society because they love you. Well, that sounds a little bit strange. Well, because they develop a relationship with humanity, with those that they have this like bizarre, twisted love affair with people that they control. Of course, you'll never know who they are, but they know who you are. It's just the way it is. It's it kind of I mean, it's just like many of you fall in love with stars you see on TV, things like that. It's similar to that. It's your elites fall in love with the people that they're manipulating. You wonder why, like some like fashions, like if you have an elitist that's in love with this certain person, they'll take that fashion and make it popular. It all depends on the person, of course. You wonder why some movie stars are worth certain clothes. Yeah, because it's a long story to that, but I think you understand where we're getting at. Yeah, they have fetishes basically. Once again, your elites are majority of them human, even non-human, are empty inside. Just so you know. So, and many you feel the same way because you know there's something else going on. Well, they don't want you to figure out who they are. They don't want you to put the pieces together. They want to keep you locked in. And many of you are fighting it, no matter how many times they drive you crazy mentally. Many of you are continuing to endure to unlock the doors to the people running your show. So your current administration, I feel like the building blocks to disclosure and alien energy. Of course, it's not made yet. Alien beings are going to be chatting forever about it. It doesn't mean there's not discussions. There is. But it's seeing how humans react to it. To a disclosure. Because if more people talk about a disclosure, they get more. Because most people just hear it and look the other way. But if more others are more open to it, it becomes more probable in your reality. So you say you're warming it up. Of course, the time frame of it. Well, there's a lot of timelines that humanity still has to complete before there's an alien anything in its full grasp. But there will be events eventually where beings will appear and you'll go through a cycle of understanding, but you're not quite there yet. But it is being set up currently. Not a fake invasion. We don't see that. That's been talked about, but I don't think so. The real one is enough. But there has been talk of a fake one in the past, yes. But at this point, we're not seeing it occur. But of course, you can always leave that up for interpretation. So, a deep state energy, what is it exactly? Obviously, it's usually insecure people on your planet and alien beings that want to control the masses. Well, they feel like humans aren't ready, but it's like they have all this power and they just want it for themselves. And they feel like nobody can handle it, but they just get addicted to it. Of course, the culture of an alien, I mean, humans are kind of living it, but not fully. Culture has to change completely for an alien environment for you to connect. You have the alien culture and you have your human culture. You have to turn them both together so they can connect. The only reason why it hasn't occurred. I guess I said too much there. But that's what you're doing right now. I think we said too much. All right. Good night.